Hey, how's it going, YouTube? This is Moogle847 again, and we are going to go ahead, since I can't get my live stream to work today. Yeah, I was wanting to live stream Final Fantasy VI, and I had no viewers, so I couldn't have any feedback on whether or not the damn thing was broadcasting. So, since that's kind of a bust, I figured let's go ahead and finish off the Star Wars Prequel Trilogy. So, this is my review of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, fun thing about this movie, this had to be one of the best of the prequel trilogy. It's still not saying completely much, but it's at least trying. So, that's alright. So, to go ahead and go through the story, you have Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi are doing an adventure right now where they're trying to save the Chancellor, who has been kidnapped by a coughing and wheezing robot named General Grievous, as well as Count Dooku. So, Count Dooku showed up in the last movie, played by the now late Christopher Lee, and he did a great job with that role. I just kind of wish they had him maybe for a little bit more. Anyway, so General Grievous and Count Dooku have the Chancellor. You have a fight, blah blah blah, and they actually rescue the Chancellor. Nearly crash a starship into a freaking runway. It was beautiful. I don't know. Anyway, so you then had the characters going up and dealing, or you have the characters going up and kind of celebrating a little bit that they won. And something that was a spoiler from the second movie, which I didn't reveal, Padme and Anakin end up getting married. And so Padme reveals that she's pregnant. Anakin is then getting visited by bad dreams, kind of as he did in the last movie, of Padme dying during childbirth. So he's now trying to figure out how exactly to make sure this doesn't happen. And you get some more political plot points, something about let's go make a Wookiee cameo, that sort of thing. But eventually, the Chancellor decides to set Anakin up to be on the Jedi Council. And when he gets to the Jedi Council, he then learns that the Jedi actually want him to spy on the Chancellor. And things lead to this, that, and the other, and Anakin eventually finds out that the Chancellor is the Sith Lord that they've been looking for all along. Which is sadly no surprise to the audience at all, but apparently to these guys it is. So, there you go. The characters then decide to, you then have some of the Jedi decide to try to take out the Chancellor, and Anakin ends up intervening. Granted, when they try to take out the Chancellor, it's hilarious because you have our good boy, Samuel L. Jackson. Sorry, forgot his name for a minute. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson going up, and he is there with like 3 or 4 other Jedi, and all of them get mowed down except for Samuel L. Jackson. Except Anakin does actually take care of it all, or tries to come up and whatever. But he, instead of trying to help Mace Windu kill the Chancellor, he instead decides to kill Mace Windu and save the Chancellor. This leads to the fact that after Obi-Wan wins against General Grievous, and oh yeah, by the way, we killed Dooku somewhere along the line, And you find out that Anakin has decided, because of something that Palpatine said earlier, that they are going to, or that he could actually learn how to save Padme through the dark side of the Force. And like a good flippin' idiot, he says, yeah, sure, we'll do this. So then you have the Chancellor ordering for the eradication of the Jedi, and Anakin being appointed as Darth Vader, which a lot of people wanted to see for a long time, except he wasn't in the suit. He was just there with his little robe over his head and just kind of there. But one thing leads to another, blah blah blah, you end up with a giant fight scene, and between Anakin and Obi-Wan, as well as Yoda and the Chancellor, and I'm actually going to leave it there because, well, you want to kind of see the rest of these. Now, I do know a lot of this sounds very mindless and whatever because I'm not completely filling in all the spoilers, but at the same time, I am just trying to give you just enough to say, go check this out and see what you're missing. So, there you got that. And, like I said, we have, once again, musical genius John Williams going up, doing the music, and a lot of it does convey the right emotions. And then he wrote, was it Battle of Heroes? Or Battle of the Heroes or something like that. But it was this great piece that plays when Obi-Wan and Anakin are actually fighting each other. And this piece is interesting, just because it comes out of nowhere, and you are totally invested in the fight. It's awesome. Now, I will say this is the best. I think this is the best of the movies that George Lucas ended up working on. However, it still suffers from some of the script problems. Mainly, a couple times where people say no. First one being the Emperor with his overreactive no. Second time with Vader, and if you haven't seen the meme by now, you might want to get looking into it. But, it's there. So yeah. There you go, you got all this stuff going on. I'm not going to ruin the rest of the movie for you. Just go watch it. Believe me, this one's the best of the prequel saga. Which means that, I guess technically I can go up and start on to the original trilogy. But since I no longer have to try to strive and get all these done, excuse me, before the deadline of Force Awakens, I can go ahead and take a pause and do a different review. So, there you go. Like I said, I thought it was a good movie, and it's definitely one of the much better visually, or one of the better visual design movies. But still, it's there. So, alrighty. Well, hey, I will talk to y'all on the next one. Alright.